actually work in the real world, right? So when I thought about that, it made me come a team, right? One of my team members here is Sharon. I also got Chantel, and also Sharon's wife. We all dig in deep, and we're moving, right? But definitely shout out, and definitely a great shout out, since he gave me a shout out, to my boy Q. Because he definitely pushed this, right? Because I was just talking about it at the coffee shop. We were like, oh, he's sitting on it, right? So definitely took it to the next level. But let's get back to it. So again, like I said, this concept came while I was recruiting. I was like, gotta figure out a way to get these kids more knowledge. So we can go to the next slide, second page, right? Where it says, do you wonder how students feel upon graduating college? About me, that it said that over 70% of college kids think they're ready, right? I can take on anything in the world. But when you talk to the employers, those that own companies, less than a third agree. That's a scary number, right? You go to school for 4 to 6 years, you get this degree, and only a third of employers think that you're ready. So then I was like, well, why is this happening, right? And the biggest problem is that campuses are only focused on academics, right? You gotta have this, follow this curriculum and do this, and not really teaching real world experiences. So with that being said, let's go to the next slide. It's the reason why R.E.A.H was created, right? It's something that will basically bridge this gap between those that are working in the industry and these kids that are in school. Like, if you can find a way that I can have an engineer come to the campus, I got a kid that want to go oil and gas, I can bring them mechanical, I can bring them civil, I can bring them mechanical, civil, electrical. I can even bring them designers if they're interested in going to the design, right? Bring it in, you have to bridge that gap to help these kids actually learn what they need to know what's going on, right? And that's just one part of it, and we'll go more as we go into more into the presentation. Let's go to the next slide. So, excuse me, I get hot here, so you might see me wipe my sweat a little bit, my brow. So let's talk about our mission, right? The mission of R.E.A.H. Before I go into this deep that kids graduating lack skills and attention to details. They lack writing proficiency. They lack public speaking ability. I mean, you in school for 6 years, you ain't learned none of that. Again, most of these kids are stuck in the classroom, studying for tests, right? Making sure that they pass so they can get this degree, right? But again, at the end of the day, what are you not learning? Real world experiences, right? So our mission is to explore interests, strengths, and skills. We want to find out what interests you, right? I don't want to hear, I want to be an engineer. Thank you so much. You know, but what is it about engineering that you like, right? So once I find out what you really like about engineering, that means now, okay, I see what your real interest is, right? Now I can find what your strengths are in it, right? I can also find your weaknesses in it. And then also I can start gearing you to know that, hey, these are the interests. And also interview me. So apprentice me is basically where they're going to sign up for short apprenticeships, gain like different types of knowledge they need in the areas that they choose. It's going to develop their skills and determine basically what's your real destiny, right? Based on what you say, because you may be good in math and science, and you may be a real nerd and real quiet. So you may need to focus on putting you in engineering, right? You may be good in math and science,